Hi, I'm Siobhan, and welcome back to FUNalysis. In this episode, we're going to be breaking down Semifinals 2 at the Mecha Mayhem Showcase event. On the red alliance, we have Team 16610A and 55288N, and on the blue alliance, we have Team 886S and 1010N. This match is a great example of how high-level gameplay has developed throughout the season, and it showcases quick-moving strategies that require extreme precision from the drivers. You're going to want to watch out for any potential violations that these teams might make while trying to descore opponent blocks, and make sure you watch out to see how important it is for teams to always hold blocks in their intake throughout the match. So let's dive in and let us know your thoughts on FUNalysis.
This video on fun is brought to you by our viewers, supporters, members, and also in partnership with the following. Build your alliance and discover why so many VEX alumni choose Kettering University. Every student at Kettering experiences their cutting-edge co-op programs that seamlessly blend the professional and academic worlds. Kettering co-ops are a fully immersive working experience at the leading edge of industry. Head on over to kettering.edu/VEX to learn more about their incredible programs and get more information. Did you know that Fun has awesome merch options, including game-themed merch available at funroboticsnetwork.com/merch? From cute thematic options to robots and fun-themed apparel, you can directly support Fun and look good at the same time. You can also become a Fun member or supporter through YouTube Join to get early access to most of our content. Thank you for your continued support.
So let's start off here in Autonomous. On the red alliance, we have Team 16610A and 55288A, and on the blue alliance, we have 886S and 1010N. So a lot of you might know 16610A as Snacky Cakes. They've been around and they won the Mall of America signature event, I believe. And at the Sugar Rush event, you might have seen they had the D-score blocker mechanism. But it looks like here at the Mecha Mayhem showcase event, that unfortunately, it looks like they took it off, and maybe because it didn't work out for their strategy, or maybe it was detrimental to the robot, but it looks like it's working out for them because they were the second seed at this event, and they're all the way in the semifinals. So starting off in Autonomous, these teams are going for a pretty standard route, just trying to get the control zone. At the beginning, Snacky Cakes is able to get that control zone, but it looks like their Autonomous failed somehow, and they lose the control zone to the blue lines. On the other hand, Makapaka, at the beginning of the Autonomous, they go for the logo down here, but 886S is able to respond to that by doing the logo second after scoring on the long goal, and so they knock out all the red blocks in the logo and take control. And because Makapaka took some time to score in the logo, they're unfortunately a little bit late to the long goal, and they're not able to get the control zone. So Blue Alliance comes out of the Autonomous in a pretty good lead, a pretty strong lead. They're able to take 1, 2, and 3 control zones, and they're able to take the Autonomous bonus. The only control bonus that's up for grabs is this middle goal, which has no blocks in it. So if I was in the Blue Alliance position, honestly, it's most important to just focus on one of the long goals and also these 2 middle goals. Just by looking at the points, you could pretty much ignore a full long goal, or actually just one control zone of a long goal, and still win as long as you have one of the long goals and the other 2 middle goals. And this is pretty easy because you could pretty much just 2v1 one of the long goals and then have another robot just focus on the middle goal. So you can kind of switch off on your priorities throughout the match. And if you ignore the other long goal, you can kind of just leave the opponent alliance to kind of do whatever they want and roam around and waste their time. And so the strategy is a little bit risky because obviously the opponent can kind of just fill up the long goal, but you're able to descore that pretty quickly if you're in that advantage of having the Autonomous bonus. So if I was in the Blue Alliance, that's definitely the strategy I would take. But let's watch this match and see how it ends up. So let's start by focusing quickly on the top long goal just to see what happens up here. By the end of the match, this long goal ends up to be blue, just so we can analyze that and see exactly the choices that these robots make. And so I think one of the biggest strategies that these robots up here make is that they try to always have blocks in their robot. They also try to have at least 6 blocks in their robot at all times. And this allows them to quickly score a couple blocks in here and also a couple blocks in the middle goal control zones. So that way they're able to pretty much diversify their points and spread it out across the board, making sure that they're able to maximize the amount of blocks that are on the field. So you can see here immediately that Snacky Cakes is match loading. They match load about 7 blocks, and now they're ready to score it. They immediately try and score it in the middle goal, and I think they do. A couple of them get sent out, but they at least get that middle goal control zone. And the Blue Alliance is pretty quick to respond back, but at least it's wasting the time of the Blue Alliance. for the Red Alliance to score in that middle goal, because now they have time to score in that low goal, and also if they have enough blocks, they're able to quickly come over into the long goal. And unfortunately, they take a little bit of time, so they're not able to get more than one block in, or maybe 2 blocks. But if they didn't make that mistake, it would be a pretty effective strategy. Especially because they had so many blocks in their intake, and they probably would be able to get that control zone, but unfortunately they're not able to. So they have to pick up some more blocks, and they're able to come around, but they're kind of forced to evade some defense from the blue lines. And here's where the game kind of diverges into two. It diverges into the offense and the defense. And in this game, playing defense is so much easier than it is to play offense, because to play offense, you're kind of forced to score in a very low margin. You kind of have to line up for these margins on the long goals. But if you're playing defense, all you have to do is push the robots away from these long goals. So you can push them into the corners of the field. You can push them across the field, away from the long goals. You can push them into the middle goals. So right now, because the Blue Alliance has the long goal control zone, they have a pretty strong advantage, especially considering they have the autonomous bonus. All they have to do is get the Red Alliance away from this long goal entirely, and they pretty much are able to do that pretty effectively. Of course, the Red Alliance is a strong team, so they're able to get a couple scoring moments, but just by descoring them, the Blue Alliance is able to get that long goal control zone back by the end of the driver control. And so we could just skip ahead here. Red Alliance quickly is able to get it back, but Blue Alliance quickly takes it back because they have so many blocks in their intake. You can see here they have about 7 blocks in their intake, and they come here with about 10 seconds left and score just a couple of those, enough to get the long goal control zone. Red Alliance descores a couple of the blocks at the end, but what matters most is that the Blue Alliance takes those 2 blocks, or 3 blocks actually, in the long goal control zone. So that's about it for the top long goal. Let's go back here, and I will warn you that this match actually went in the Blue Alliance's favor, even though they lost on points. The Red Alliance down here, we'll see here in a minute, is that the Red Alliance actually unfortunately made a violation, and this really shows how precise these teams have to be. I'm not too sure on the accuracy of the violation. I've seen some controversies on this, but we can only assume that this was the most accurate violation, because I believe it was that Makapaka down here, the Red Alliance, they were holding their wing in the goal without moving any blocks, and so that ended up it was a 1-point match, and that means it ended up being match affecting. So you'll see here that, let's skip, it's actually at the very beginning of the match, and so it's a little bit hard to see, and it's pretty hard to see with the camera quality, but the Red Alliance, they kind of just hold their wing there, and we'll rewind it a couple times. But they hold their wing there without moving any blocks. And it's a quick second there, but because they kind of take that control zone, or they tie up that control zone, the rule states that if you alter blocks it in the position of being scored, or the position of being in the control zone, and it ends up being match affecting, that's a disqualification. So I think that's where the violation was, but we can continue watching this wing play down here, because the Blue Alliance does have the control zone for the majority of this match, and so they're able to kind of quickly make sure that the Red Alliance just doesn't have it. The Red Alliance quickly takes it back, and so the Blue Alliance has to intake as many blocks as possible, and they play a similar strategy of trying to make sure that they always have blocks in their intake. Unfortunately, they only score 1, but they're still able to tie up that control zone, and so it's honestly just a pretty standard wing play battle down here. I think by the end, the Blue Alliance is unable to take the bonus, and that's why it ends up being a 1-point match, because the Red Alliance, although they didn't have the autonomous, they have the control zone, and they have I think it's the low goal is what they end up taking, and so it becomes a 1-point match just based on blocks. And so this is where the violation comes in, and this is where that's just why you're kind of going to want to see these drivers focus on precision, focus on making sure that they're not in the goal for too long, because honestly, these refs are going to have to make these split-second decisions, and they're going to have to be very precise and on-the-spot thinking of how the violations are going to be called, especially at Worlds when teams are getting so not egregious, but so, I guess it's becoming high-level gameplay. So every second matters in these violations and in determining these violations. And so if you want to be on the highest level, I think just practicing making sure that you're not violating any rules, for example, doing scrimmages, that's the best way you're going to be able to develop real match play and also strategies. And by doing that, you're going to be able to avoid violations when you actually enter real matches. And you also want to make sure that you're always holding blocks throughout matches, so that way you're able to diversify the points across the field, from the long goals to the middle goals and the low goals. And just by doing this, you're able to lower your cycle times and quickly score a lot in just much less time, which will give you a huge advantage over your opponent, especially if you're losing autonomous. That's where you're really going to want to make up in any time loss that you have to score points. So this match is a great example, unfortunately, of some violations that teams might have to avoid, but it's also a great example of how you want to distribute your blocks and how you want to make sure you're scoring points across the board. So I think it's a great example, and I think it's a great match to watch if you want to learn some new strategies going into the later half of the season. In this match, we saw some very high-level wing play and an insight into what we'll see at the World Championship. We also saw how minor driver incidents could lead to violations in those long goals, and what teams will want to look out for. The match ended up being within 1 point, with the Blue Alliance taking it due to a disqualification. So let us know in the comments how you would have played this match to guarantee all of those control zones and secure a win. Make sure to subscribe to Fun for more robotics related content. I'm Siobhan, and thank you so much for watching FUNalysis.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. True competitors know that every second counts. That's why Kettering University challenges you to dive in right away as a first-year student. Participating in robotics programs helps Kettering students secure a valuable co-op. Whatever your interests, Kettering gives you more space to work faster and win faster. Learn more at kettering.edu/vex.